What is up, guys? Welcome to this very special stream. My name is Leal, and today we're gonna be having a lot of fun because not only are we gonna be giving away a couple of prizes, today is my birthday, so I'm gonna be giving away three prizes, three of our premium courses, and also we're gonna be doing a very cool, like, a sculpt right here. I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan. I think that was one of the first MMORPGs that I played, and I played it for a long time. I played all the way through Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, and then what was it, Mist of Pandaria, even Legion. I skipped a couple of expansions every now and then, but I did play quite a bit. So today I thought, hey, let's do my first character of World of Warcraft, which was a dwarf. It was a hunter dwarf. Ben LOD, thank you, my friend. Thank you for the wishes. And before we jump onto the sculpting, though, just want to remind you, as I was mentioning, if you go to our Discord channel and you go to the events tab, right now the first prize is available for like submission. You can just click on this little icon and you're gonna get entered into our raffle right here. And in 11 minutes, we're gonna get an automatic prize winner, and I'm gonna just, like, of course, voice it here on the channel or on the stream, and we'll start another one. Okay, we're gonna have two live streams or two giveaways live during our 2-hour live stream, and then of course this one that has been live for the last day. So if you want to win a free premium course, we have two premium courses right now. We got the axe, a weapon, pretty much like a World of Warcraft weapon actually, and we have a stylized character for ZBrush. So one is like the Blender AAA weapon pipeline, and the other one's like a character pipeline. If you already have those two courses and you win, don't worry, you are gonna win a 1-hour one-on-one session with me so that we can cover whatever topic you need help with. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, Sarn, thank you. Those are the links for our two current courses, and in just a second, yeah, we're gonna have our first winner. So let's go. Now, while we wait for the first winner, which is again going to be in like 11 minutes, let's talk about what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be working on the like bust of this character, just the head and the beard, probably the hair. This is just going to be a 3D sculpting, and maybe like what we did with our Mind Flayer. I'm thinking about like, let me show you in full screen. Let's see if it's, there we go. So we did this Mind Flayer a couple of weeks ago. I'm thinking about opening like a small site so you guys can download those STLs if you want to print them. So yeah, let's go. Let's start right here with this one. I'm gonna move this. I usually like to have my image or my reference image over here. And whenever I'm working in ZBrush, I usually don't use dynamic perspective. I like to keep things as flat as possible. Some people say that dynamic perspective is fine, and it's fine, but it does distort things a little bit. So let's mask out with control a little bit of a neck down here. Dwarf usually have really like thick necks, so I'm gonna create like a really thick neck right there. And one of the things that I recommend, especially when we're doing characters, I thought I was comfortable here with my keyboard, but it's a little bit annoying. Well, not annoying, but it's a little bit off place. There we go. So there we go. So one of the things I recommend, as I was mentioning, is to do a little bit of the shoulders. Even if you're not going to do the shoulders, like you're not going to do a full, like the chest of the character, just having an idea of where the shoulders are going to be and the chest is going to be, it's a good way to get a better sense of scale in regards to the proportions of the characters. Because again, in this case, dwarves, they tend to be very stocky, right? Quite big. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with the jawline, and I'm gonna start adding with my clay buildup. You guys know I'm a huge fan of clay buildup. It's probably one of the brushes that I use the most, to be honest. And I'm just gonna start like adding all of the volume that I would expect the jawline to have, coming from this side right here and towards the front. Now, one thing I really like about the World of Warcraft dwarfs is that they do exaggerate the noses quite a bit. I've mentioned this on a short that I did earlier this year. I think it was in June. And one of the books that inspired me to become a 3D artist was The Hobbit. There was a graphic novel version of The Hobbit. I don't have it right here, but I'll go and get it in a second. And this graphic novel version of The Hobbit it just like blew my mind and opened my imagination to all of the possibilities of being an artist. And ever since I read that, it's just been like fantasy for me. So here, let's start with the eyes. So I'm gonna create the holes for the eyes, which are gonna be like right around here. I think the nose is a little bit too big, but that's roughly where the eye sockets are gonna be. And this is the funny part about 3D. Whenever we're starting a new project, the beginning stages are always really weird. It looks very like ugly, but as you keep like polishing it and creating something that looks a little bit more clean, you're gonna get a nicer and nicer result. So over here, let's add a little bit of where the chin would be. Then we definitely need to increase the jaw size a little bit more, because otherwise we're not gonna have enough room for the mouth and the chin and everything. So I'm pulling the whole chin down a little bit right there. And for the mouth, one advice that I give is try to create this thing called the barrel of the mouth, which is just the volume that the mouth will like protrude forward. And the lips and everything else, we'll do it later. Let's tie in the mesh, of course, to recalculate here. And we just keep building the very basic shapes of a face. Gonna adjust a little bit of the proportions with the move brush. The move brush is a great way because it's a really big brush and you can do like really like big changes. So I'm making the eyes a little bit smaller. We can keep a big nose. There we go. And let's just start clay buildup here to add the nostrils. Like that. Just a very basic construction. For the ears, there's a couple of ways to do the ears. One of them is just like literally draw the ears. Another one is to use an insert multi-mesh. Have you guys used insert multi-meshes before? It's VI, and then for instance over here in the tune section or on the body part section, I think in this case body part is good, we can look for an ear and we literally just drag and drop the ear right there. It's not the best ear, to be honest. You can create your own multi-mesh, by the ways. So if you spend like, I don't know, a couple of hours modeling a really cool ear, you could create your own insert multi-mesh brush, and that way you just reuse it, right? So you don't have to do an ear every single time. Ears are ears are my least favorite part to sculpt on a character. They're not difficult, they're just like boring. I don't know, at least for me. I don't like doing it. And yeah, Phantom MM did an Illidan bust. We reviewed on our portfolio review, I believe that was last week. He has been showing some of the progress. On our Discord channel, by the way, guys, if you're not part of it just yet, we have a work in progress channel. We have a showcase channel, so you can share with us all of your stuff. And there's some really good artists in there, other than me, that can help you with feedback and like suggestions, opinions, just general good advice for all stuff 3D. Let's add a little bit of volume here on the face, or on the, what's the word, on the forehead. And there we go. So this is like again the base mesh of our dwarf character. We're just focusing on the main forms and the main shapes. And a question that I get asked often is, do we need to know anatomy for this kind of stuff? And the answer is yes. If you know anatomy, if you know where things are, if you know how the body works and stuff like that, it will definitely make your lives a lot easier when doing characters like this. So even though I'm not like explicitly saying all of the names of the bones and the muscles that I'm creating right here, the knowledge that you can acquire from that is really helpful. I've been asked to do like anatomy classes before, but unfortunately it's a topic that doesn't sell as well because people are very, what's the word, like how do they say it in English, like hard-headed or something like that, where they just stick to their guns and they don't want to like do what they know or they should know is better for them. So even when people see like anatomy courses, they're like, oh no, anatomy is boring, anatomy is difficult, I don't want to do it. So whenever I do characters, like what we did on the stylized character course recently, I try to teach anatomy in a fun way so that people can learn, because it is very important. I know not a lot of people want to hear that, but unfortunately it's part of the truth. Anatomy is very important. Stubborn. There you go. Stubborn. Backboy. Thank you. Thank you for the word. Yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Stubborn. People can be very stubborn. And they think like, no, I don't need it. This is my style. This is how I do things. Like, no. That's not how the anatomy works in the real world. So you need to know the proper anatomy. And then once you master or know the proper anatomy, you can do your own style and you can do your own like variations and whatnot. But it's important to know the rules before you break them. Because when you break a rule, here's like the interesting bit. When you break a rule, but you don't know why you broke the rule, you didn't broke the rule. You just like did whatever you thought was gonna look okay. But if you know the rule and you consciously break it and you make decisions that you know are gonna be interesting, that's where genius appears. And you can see this in every single work in life. You can see this in chefs, in architects, in entertainers. Like every single person that does something differently and original, it's because they know how to do it like traditionally. And once they have that knowledge, they break it, right? They break away from it and they create something new. But it's because they have a mastery of the way that things are done, again, normally. So very, very important to know the basics before you can break them. You're not gonna reinvent the wheel. I learned this recently. Oh wait, I'll tell you this in just a second, because we are just a minute away from our first winner. Instock, welcome to the chat, man. So yeah, the first winner is about to be announced right here. I believe it's automatic, right, David? I'm pretty sure it's automatic. So should be happening any moment now. Yep, okay, yeah, let's just wait, because we're about to know who wins the first premium course or one-on-one session with me. And once we have that one, we're gonna start the next one, and you guys are gonna be able to jump again into Discord and submit another entry for the next giveaway, which will be ending in, again, like an hour. So drum rolls. How do I enroll in this event? If you participated, yeah, it's just on the Discord channel. You go here to the events section and you just click this little thing right here. And there we go. Thank you for the follow, Instock. 10 seconds. There we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we got Jess Life. Just Life, congratulations, my friend. You are the first winner in our first official giveaway. So congratulations. If you're watching the stream, then please, at the end of the stream, send us a message either to David or to me, and we'll arrange which prize you want to get, okay? And in just a second, David is going to start a new giveaway here. Again, you just need to go to the Discord channel. To our Discord channel, you need to go to this events section. And once you're in here, you click the little like thingy that's gonna appear. It's like a little party thing, and with that your entry is gonna be in here. So again, congratulations, Just Life, on winning the first part or the first prize. And while David is finishing this thing, let's just continue with the dwarf right here. So I was telling you guys that I learned this recently. I'm not sure if I shared this before. I probably have shared this before, but I've been playing chess quite a bit for the past like 2 years, I would say. Not like competitively or anything, but I just like playing it because when I was a kid, I remember I played against a cousin who had a little bit of knowledge, and at that time he destroyed me, right? So I never like wanted to play again because it was very difficult. But now that I'm older, I was like, it shouldn't be like that difficult. It is very difficult. It is very difficult, but there's a couple of streamers that I follow, and one of them says, like, if you're a beginner, one of the things that you should do is just follow whatever the masters have been doing for hundreds of years, right? So you're not going to be reinventing the wheel, for instance, on the opening, because the opening has pretty much, well, not pretty much, but it's there's a lot of information out there. So if you're doing something because you think it's original, it's probably dumb, and it's better if you learn the proper way. Well, the same thing happens with 3D. Like, if you're trying to do something that you think is original because that's the way you want to do it, if you're being stubborn and you're doing it because you just want to be stubborn, then it's probably not going to work. However, if you already know all of the stuff and you want to break some rules, break some, like, I don't know, guidelines and stuff, that could work, and you could discover something interesting. There we go. So, Sanimation, hello, my friend. And Instock, are you Jess Life? If you are, then congratulations. So do we have the next one? It's about to go there. Second one is now on our live stream. Is it this one, David? Is it the Avengers one? No, wait, guys, that's not the, I mean, if you want to react, that's fine, but that's not the actual, that way, there we go. So now this little thing right here, the giveaway bot, that's where you need to click on this little icon right here, okay? Oh, my screen is covering it a little bit. There we go. So this little icon on the second premium price right here. And this one's going to be in just 50 minutes, okay? Just 50 minutes. So the price is going to be going very, very, very soon. There we go. Thank you, David. So yeah, now that we have a good like basis here, we can start working on some secondary forms. And secondary forms for a character are things such as like the muscles, the fat pads, the folds. For instance, there's a very famous fold right here called the nasolabial fold, which goes, as the name implies, from the nose and then all the way to the side of the mouth right here. You guys want me to tell you a little bit about the story? I've always been like a story. Well, it's not that I've been a storyteller, but I've always liked creating stories for my characters, even if I don't do like a book or anything. So back in the day when we were playing World of Warcraft, the first character I did was a dwarf. It was a hunter dwarf. My best friend at the time, well, he's still one of my best friends, but at the time we were playing a lot of games together. He created a fighter warrior. I always forget which one it is in World of Warcraft. So he created a warrior. I believe it was a warrior dwarf as well. And my brother, he created a paladin dwarf. So we were three like dwarf brothers, pretty much. And it was very, very cool. Later, like a couple of years later, when we started playing D&D, those three characters became part of the lore of our world, and they were the three dwarven kings. They were called. It was Brune, Arlo, and Muir. Those were their names. And in the story of our like D&D campaign, which we still play, by the way, even after we've been playing D&D for like more than 10 years now. Hey, welcome Drumilidit to the channel. So even after 10 years, those characters are still canon in our campaigns, and there's like a dwarf kingdom, you know, similar to Moria in Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. So there's a dwarf kingdom, and the three of them, they rule that part, and each one of them is in charge of one part of like the government. The paladin is in charge of the military, the warrior is in charge of the I think he's in charge of like the politics, and then the hunter is in charge of the resources. So it's you know, that's what I meant when I said that I like creating stories. That's like the gist of it. Hey, Drumil, we're doing great. We just had our first giveaway, and we have a new giveaway right now. So if you want to enter, it's going to be on our Discord channel, and we're sculpting a dwarf. So I'm having fun. By the way, guys, we just broke a record because this is the first time we have almost 30 viewers here on the stream. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you very, very, very much. Let's mirror this eye to the other side. There we go. And the cool thing about eyes is once you have eyes in a sculpt in ZBrush, you can use those eyes as a mask. And when you start adding things like the eyelids right here, you can see they run around, or they kind of like, what's the word? Fold? That's not fold. Wrap. They wrap around the original eye. I think his eyes are a little bit too far apart. What do you guys think? Excellent, Instock. You just got the weapon course. That's great. I'm very proud of that course due to several reasons. One of them, I really like the concept. The artist that did the concept, she was amazing, and she allowed us to use it for the tutorial. The result, I think, looks very cool, and it's the first course as a solo artist. It's the course that started this whole journey right now for me. I've been doing tutorials for a long time now, but I decided to start my own thing a couple of months ago, and that was the first course, so it will always be special to me. Welcome, Alf Rafi, to the stream. We are also very close to our goal today of 330 followers. Do you play any FPS? Link Sandro is asking. For example, Valorant. I've been wanting to play Valorant for a while now, but I'm really scared, to be honest, because I know it can be very competitive, and I don't want to like mess up and and affect my like teammates or whatever. So no, I don't play any like FPS right now. I played a little bit of Destiny 2 earlier this year with another friend, but I couldn't continue playing because it was because of this whole thing with the new brand and stuff. So I haven't been able to play a lot of games lately. And we got Mihir Mahindrakar. Welcome, my friend, to the live stream. Glad you're here. So lately, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I got myself Hero Warriors Age of Calamity. I really like Muso games. They're relaxing because you just like destroy everything. I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate a couple weeks ago. I haven't played again, but I was playing a little bit of that. And what else have I been playing? I think that's it. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is just amazing. It's really, really good. What do I think about the art style? I love the art style. I love League of Legends art style. I played League of Legends for like 5 years, spent like a lot of money. I don't even want to say it live. But after several years of just like being miserable, I was like, no, this is not fun anymore. And we stopped playing. It was really good at the time because I have two brothers and we all played together, and we had another two friends, like a friend of mine and a friend of my brother. So we were the full team. And those like months where we played as a full team, oh, those were glorious because the communication, like everything just flowed so nicely. But then life happens. People have to like move on to different things, right? And it's sometimes a little bit difficult to keep up with all of the meta and the games and stuff like that. So we stopped playing, and eventually it was just not fun anymore. This guy kind of looks like Ian McKellen. Oh no. Have you played any of the Souls games? Yeah, I got Elden Ring earlier this year, and I got destroyed. I've never played Souls games before. That was my first like experience with Souls games. I really enjoyed it, but I have a little girl. She's 2 years old, so I can't play for long periods of time, and those games require like a lot of patience, I think. So I mean, it's there on my Steam library, but I haven't been able to continue. I did enjoy it, and I do want to get back to it because the lore and the world was just so cool. Here we're doing a little bit of tightening of the secondary forms. And I'm not using any reference. I'm just using this guy kind of like an inspiration. I should be using a little bit more reference, but I just want to have fun today, so things might not be like industry standard right now. If you want to learn about industry standard, the Seavers course, the Demon course is one good way to do it. Let's add a little bit more fat right there, more skin, more like loose skin. Have you tried all Final Fantasy games like 9 or 7? I tried 7 a little bit, but to be honest, Final Fantasy doesn't like quite capture me as much. One series that I freaking love, it's like one of my favorite series. I even have like a little like card right here. It's Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles, it's just freaking amazing. If you guys haven't played it, you're in for a ride. It's a really, really good series. I personally love it. So I played the DLC for Xenoblade 3 earlier this year. It's so cool, that one. Andy, thank you, my friend. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you very much. So let's remove, usually under the lips, there's always a little bit of a gap. So you need to carve a little bit of volume out. And here at the sides of the mouth, we're going to have something called the orbicularis oris, which is a donut shaped muscle that goes around the mouth and creates the border for the lips. However, in dwarfs, it's not always the case. Well, you can like cover a lot of what's the word? A lot of the stuff from like a dwarf's mouth with the beard, right? So in this case, I'm just gonna fill in the mass right here, and we'll tighten up the lips in just a second. See that even already looks like a mustache, even though it's not supposed to be the mustache right now. Yeah, exactly. They never shave. That's right. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, 30 viewers. That's a new record. Thank you, guys. Thank you very, very much. Oh, there's another bits of news that I haven't shared with you. Well, I shared with the YouTube on the YouTube thing, but I participated on the boss fight challenge this month. That one took quite a bit of time to work on. That's why I haven't been able to play a lot of games either. So my submission is up on YouTube. I submitted on Sunday on the last day, and they're gonna be giving away the results this weekend. So I'm really curious to see what people think about that one. Let's do a little bit of the neck muscles. That one was a fun experience. It's the first time I participated in one of those things, but it was very, very fun. Did you create? Yes, I created the monster. Like, if you guys have seen the video, I'll show it. Let's show it. So it's this one right here. So I created the monster. The character is an old character of mine that I did for a tutorial a couple of years ago. The shield is the one that we have in YouTube. So there's a series on how to do the shield of the character. The obelisks I also did a couple of years ago. So yeah, like most of the stuff I did myself. The things that I did not do were the rocks, like all of the floating rocks that we have, and the trees and the plants. Those were assets that I just got from Quixel. But the characters, I rigged them, I animated them, I did the effects, like everything. So yeah, this was a fun submission, to be honest. And this is also part of the D&D campaign story that we're playing right now. So I always try to, that's I guess one of my secrets of why I enjoy what I do so much. I always try to like tell stories, or like to tell stories with everything that I do. And that keeps things very, very entertaining. Yeah, exactly. That's from Victorious 3D. That was Victory 3D. I'm not sure if it's Victory 3D or Victorious 3D or something. That was the first channel that hired me to do tutorials. I did 3 tutorials for them, and then I jumped to Nextute, and now I'm doing my own stuff. So yeah, that character was from that series. That's right. It was like this very archetypical fantasy character. Very cool. Okay, let's do a little bit of adjustment here on the ears. And I want to give him a little bit of a weird ears. Now, I think we're in a good position form-wise to go or jump into a little bit more detail. And to do that, we're definitely going to need more resolution, because as you can see, we're only working with 112. Pepper with Duck, thank you, my friend. Thank you for your wishes. And Instock as well. Happy birthday. Should be us giving you, not you. Nah, that's not how the world works, man. You gotta be happy, and I'm happy with you guys. So I'm happy. I want to share that happiness. I read that there are some cultures. I mean, and here in Mexico, we do that quite a bit. Like when you are, especially when you get older, right? When you get older, you host the party, and people just, of course, enjoy the time with you, because you want to spend time with your friends. So. Actually, like today, I'm gonna be going with my family, of course. Oh, we got a sub from Techies and from Alfrefi. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Amigo, gracias, mi estimado. Aquí seguimos, echándole ganas. Very well. So, there we go. Link Sandra says, I'm kind of lost about why you left Nextute. One day I just received a YouTube indication of the beat of the shield on your new channel, and I jumped to it. I might do a video about that later down the line, but for now, what I can say is that there were some creative differences that we had, and some things that were just like not ideal from my personal point of view. So I just thought that the best decision was to start my own stuff. And I don't have anything against them. It was a great experience while I was working with them. However, you know, like people grow, people change, both sides change. So it was just like a, I don't know, kind of like a part of the whole growing up thing. There we go. So let's just the move brush here. But all of the stuff, it's still there. Like I'm not, again, I don't have anything against them. So all of those courses that I did with them, they're still very valuable. If you want to check them out, go for them. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, my friend Andy. That's exactly one of the reasons. Thanks for the subs, my friends. And let's go. So I'm gonna show you. Oh, thanks for the bits, man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. I don't know why the alerts are not working. There should be like a bits alert or something. But there you go. Starkiller, my good friend. Starkiller is one of the masters. One of the old school masters. Welcome. There you go. There's the bits. I think that's the sound of the bits. Yeah, a lot of people thought that. A lot of people thought that that was the deal, and that was not it. Where is my overlay? Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. I clicked the wrong one when I changed to full screen. There we go. Now we have the chat and the bits and everything. Thank you, Pepper with Ducks. Yes, and it was a scary time when I decided to do this, to make the jump and start my own stuff. But thanks to the support of you guys, of the community, I realized that it was something that I could do, and it's been amazing so far. It's been just so good. So thanks to everyone who has been supporting the new YouTube channel, the Twitch, the Discord. The Discord is an amazing place. I love the Discord. People are always sharing like memes and their works, and it's just very fun. So thank you everyone for supporting this project, because it's thanks to you that I can continue to do this and share with you all of this information. Do you want to be your own boss? Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Let's make this guy a little bit happier, or angrier. Angry is usually an easy. Kind of like, there we go. Now he kind of looks like Batista, like angry happy. Yeah, angry happy. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Now we need to do a little process. This is a very simple process where we need to fix the topology a little bit. It's not gonna be perfect topology, but it should just make it a little bit easier to sculpt things such as the wrinkles and the folds in the mouth and around the nose and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna duplicate this character into two different elements, and the one on the top, I'm gonna isolate it just a second, and I'm gonna go to Series Mesh, and we're gonna Series Mesh this character. Actually, oh no. I thought I had my custom button up there, but now it's down here. So we just Series Mesh. I really don't care about like the animation perfect topology right now, because this is just a sculpt, but I do want to have like something a little bit more like loops and just like a cleaner borders on the eyes. So as you can see, that should work fine. It's not gonna be perfect, but it should work a little bit better. And now that we have this, we can do Control D a couple of times. Let's do 2 times. And if we project all of the details that we had from the other one into this one, I'm gonna be able to have this clean mesh. Okay, so this one is an optimized, more like a clean mesh, and we can give it a couple more subdivisions. And now when we start like doing like the secondary shapes and the wrinkles and all that stuff, it's gonna be a lot easier to capture that sort of like information, because the flow of the polygons is gonna be a little bit better in that sense. I'm also gonna change my alpha to a round alpha, like alpha 6, because round alphas are gonna give me a more like organic feel to the whole thing. So this is the kind of like effect that we're going for. And I like using clay buildup, because once I add enough like surface effects, I can just smooth it out, and you get like a very like natural, like organic buildup of the clay in this case. The nasolabial fold is usually not that big, so let's start doing some adjustments right here. Let's see, Legend himself, who's Daniel? Says, how's the day going? So far so good, man. Feliz cumpleaños de Mac and Queso. Gracias, mi estimado. Muchas gracias. It was one of my teachers at school, and probably the one I learned the most from. Oh, that's so good to hear, man. I'm not sure if I've told you guys about this experience. I don't think so. It's like this is a like a like a little not dirty secret, but it's like a very deep secret that I don't share that frequently. But it's not a bad secret or anything. It's like, it's just that it's the information that I don't share all the time. When I was at Noman, I went there the first year, And on the second year, I made a mistake with my visa, and I got the wrong visa. Instead of taking my student visa, I took my my traveler's visa, and they denied me entrance to the United States. Huge deal. They were about to deport me, and they were like, we're not gonna let you go into or get into the United States for like 10 years. And I thought my life was over there. It's like, damn, I made a mistake, and now everything's just gonna go to hell, right? So they gave me an option. This was in LA, like I was with the cops and everything. It was like super bad. and they were like, hey, we can see that you're a cool dude, like we know you're not like trying to do anything illegal, you're just stupid, so we're gonna give you an option. We're gonna give you the option of doing this thing called, I think it was like a request to withdrawal, right? And that pretty much allows me to say, hey, I made a mistake, I'm just gonna like voluntarily go back to my country, I'll fix the stuff and I'll come back. And I was like detained. It was not like in a prison cell or anything. It's just like an office. It's like, okay, you're gonna stay here until tomorrow when the next plane to Mexico arrives. And on the first plane, you're going home, fix your visa stuff, and then come back. But that thing, that event, it's like have you guys seen the Spider-Man thing? That canonical event marked everything. Like whenever I do an analysis of how, yeah, it was canon, like that canon event, like it just changed everything. Why? Because when I came back and I started doing the process to get my visa, like the student visa approved, they were like, yeah, we're gonna approve it, like there's nothing wrong with your submission, like you are gonna get your visa, you're gonna go back to school, like absolutely do not worry about that. Because I was worried that I was going to get denied or something. They were like, no, everything's fine, you're not going to get denied, you're going to get your visa, but it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to do so, and then like 1 more week for you to go to school, right? So at that point I was pretty much going to lose the whole or half of the semester of the term at Nomen. And I talked to the admission people, and they were like, hey, if you want to wait, just wait, like skip 1 term. You're not gonna be with your peers anymore. You're gonna be with the term behind them, but you're not gonna lose the knowledge, right? And even though I love my peers, the knowledge was way more important at that point. So it was like, okay, fine, I'll wait. And I had to wait 3 months because in Nomen you got 12 weeks, I think, 10 or 12 weeks, and then you go to then just like it's 10 weeks and then 2 weeks to like make up any classes, and then 2 vacation weeks, and then back to school, right? So it was 3 months. And during those 3 months, I was like, whoa, what the hell am I gonna do now? Like, I don't want to waste my time. And what I did there was that I talked to my first school, my very first school here in Mexico, which was in Monterrey. It's no longer there. They're still there as a studio, but they're not a school anymore. And I told them, hey, I want to teach a class. Do you guys like have any like open things? And they let me teach a ZBrush class. And that, like, again, kickstarted everything. Everything. That's a story for another day, but that's how my detention in the United States got me into teaching, and like eventually got me into all of these things that I'm doing right now. Thank you, man, for the follow, Astaroth Dev. We got a couple of questions, so let's see. Must be terrifying, yet we're laughing. No, it was terrifying, but now I laugh about it as well, so you're totally fine. Major Easy says, thanks for all the help with the 3D Ave on all the knowledge. Can't wait to show you off the lava axe. Yeah, make sure to share it on the Discord once you're done with it, my friend. I would love to see it. Link Sandro, thanks for the follow, my friend. Let's see. We should start solve the workflow from the secondary forms. Yeah, it's a good idea to do that, Phantom, when you want to have a really good control of the flow of the forms, especially in characters, again, with wrinkles and things like that. It can get a little bit tricky if you don't have like proper control. So I do like to jump into Subdiv, not everywhere, but quite often. So yeah, that's an option right there. Let's see. We'll have another question. Are there plans for the rest of this year? So the next course is going to be a short course. It's going to be a small little course. It's going to be an introduction to Maya, because and you guys let me know what you think about this idea. We realized that it's cool to do, or I would like to do more like intermediate and advanced courses, but there's a lot of people that want to start Maya, and I don't want to do a chapter 1 and chapter 2 explaining the basics of Maya every single time. So it seems a little bit like what's the word, logical to have an Intro to Maya course, short one, that people can follow and then jump to any of the advanced Maya courses that we do later on. So this month, I'm gonna try to do that Intro to Maya course and a intermediate Maya course. It's gonna be really cool. Next month, we got Marvelous Designer. That one's one that people have been asking for quite a bit, and I'm super excited to work on that. So October is gonna be Marvelous Designer. And not only I'm gonna show you the software, we're also gonna be taking a look at how to like import simulations into Maya, into Unreal, how to do like bakes for games. Like it's a little bit more like a industry workflow thing, not just like an introduction to Marvelous Designer. So that one's gonna be fun. And then we're still planning on what to do after that one. But yeah, a lot of stuff to come in the next couple of months here on the channel. So if you guys are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, this is a good moment to do so, because that's where we announce most of the big courses and the challenges and everything. Well, we haven't done a challenge yet, but all of the stuff we use YouTube quite a bit. So make sure to join us there as well. Astaroth says, happy birthday! Currently doing your ZBrush course after doing your demo character from Nextude. Was supposed to ask earlier what your chest elo is and if you have any favorite openings. It fluctuates. On Rapid, I think I am 1500 or 1550. On Blitz, I fluctuate between 1300 and 1500, depending on if I'm concentrating or not. For whites, I always play the Vienna. If I can go for the Vienna Gambit, I go for it. But if not, I go Vienna and then 4 knights. And for black, it's Caro-Kann all the time. I do Caro-Kann as much as I can. If I can't do Caro-Kann because I do Queen's Gambit, I go Slav Defense. I try to play very passive with black, to be honest. Like, I don't take a lot of risks. But I have a very nice trick with the Caro-Kann that has, like, gotten me, like, at least 100 victories. I'll maybe share it later. It's like a hidden like a slingshot with the queen from across the board for a checkmate, and people don't see it. It's very fun. But yeah, those are the openings that I normally play. Sometimes I do the King's Indian. No, sorry, not the King's Indian. No, it is the King's Indian. I think so, but not all the time. I prefer the Caro-Kann. Let's see. Let's go, guys. News course. Yeah, the new courses will be very cool. Marvelous Designer is gonna be really nice. See, Substance Painter, Backboy, we've discussed it, and it feels more like a secondary tool, to be honest. Like doing a course just in Substance Painter feels a little bit weird. So we might do like an introduction to Substance Painter as well, just with the basic stuff. But most of the like secrets or the cool tricks and tips, you will find them on the other courses. So for instance, if we do a character course later on, skin texturing and all that stuff, it's gonna be there. If we do a vehicle course, then like decals and wear and tear and stuff like that, it's gonna be on that one, because it does feel like a more of a secondary course sometimes. I would like more full pipeline training all the way to Unreal. Yes, we're thinking about doing something like that, Major Easy. However, it does require a little bit more time. You know, we gotta like understand how the market moves and everything. So we're still deciding whether we do one like series, like the Thyros character series that I did next to it, where it's like the full pipeline, or if we do or split it into like modules, because again, we need to think about the time. Link Sandro says, I wanted to learn mobile designer. I was going to buy it from Steam, but I didn't know they were going to take it out of there, and I missed the chance to buy it. The subscription model does not work for me at the moment. Yeah, it's unfortunate, the subscription model. But it's a very strong software. What I do with Marvelous is I just cancel it and resubscribe whenever I need it. And of course, I try to make sure that I have a project that's gonna give me enough profits. So it's what's the word? It's justifiable, right? To get it. Kingseer says, happy birthday, Sir Abraham. I just want to come in. We're talking about chess. You play Nimso Indian too? I'm not a pro, but I enjoy it. Sometimes when I try to do, or when I'm trying to go Caro-Kann and they don't let me, I go Nimso, but I don't have a lot of success with that one, to be honest. I usually play for the draw in those cases. If I want to play aggressive Caro-Kann, again, I I've been studying it quite a bit, so yeah. Andy says, I'm glad the first course I bought was with Abe, then found him on Nextdoor, and now we're here. Best investment. Thanks, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so from that canon story that I was telling you, that's where I discovered that teaching was something that I really, really enjoyed. And seeing the effect that I could, like, or the way I could help people, it was just like mind-blowing. And at that point, that was January 2013 when I started that process. So yeah, 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, when I discovered that teaching was a career choice that I could have, I founded my first academy, which was called Critical Hit Academy. Let me know in the comments if anyone watching right now is an original student from Critical Hit, because that was the first school or little studio that I had. It was literally on a room on my parents' house. I bought 5 computers and I started teaching like the basics of Maya and Photoshop and ZBrush and things like that. And it was just me, freaking old computers, like whatever I could, and that's how I started. But thanks to that, I started growing, and soon enough, universities here in Mexico were like calling me, because at that time, very, very few people knew 3D at the level that I was like teaching it, and that opened a lot of doors for me. And the rest is history. I went back to Noman, finished my studies, and then decided to come back here to Mexico to keep growing my business. Unfortunately, Critical Hit closed a couple of years ago in the pandemic. Pandemic was horrible for everyone, and even though now I have my brand back with Abe Leal as a teaching brand, the studio, because we were a studio as well, it couldn't survive. But I'm a partner with another studio called Hyperlab. We're doing some very, very cool stuff. I want to share with some of that stuff with you as well, guys, but we're still in NDA with a lot of projects, so not a lot of stuff I can share. Mac and Keys was in the Critical Academy Discord. There you go. We'll be there, tutorials on Skillshare as well. We're looking at the possibility, Slamalka. However, right now, at least for the next couple of months, we're gonna stick with Udemy. But it might not be a bad idea. Sarn says, all subscribers on Twitch getting special rank and accesses in our Discord as well. Yeah, that's right. We got like Scholar and then Master and then like Knight and Hero. It's very cool, so. Stark Hero says, dude, I always say that I didn't know what I would do with my professional life until I took the first class with you. Well, Stark Killer here, he was one of my first students back then, back in the Critical Hit ages. What was the highest bits drop? Oh, someone donated like 1,000 bits a couple of weeks ago, I think. How about platforms like GetCourse? We've explored a lot of them. Unfortunately, some platforms have very heavy restrictions for creators, so the revenue is shared very, very badly. Well, not badly. I feel like it's a little bit unfair. And Udemy, due to the size that it has and the way it's organized, it seemed like the better option. Eventually, what we want to do is we want to have our own site, to be honest, and just offer you guys like discounts and things like that directly through our own stuff. But it's gonna take a while until we get there. I mean, can you guys believe we've only been doing this for like 2 months and we're already here? Like, I'm super happy with this. Like, the growth and the support has been just amazing. So it's just gonna take a little while, a little bit longer. We just need to be a little bit more patient there. But right now, if you want to support us, Udemy is a really cool place, and there's usually good prices as well there for Udemy. Circle, etc. Yeah, they want some share too. Yeah, exactly. Let's work a little bit here on the ears. We definitely need to add the beard. By the way, I got lost. When is how much time do we have? We have one giveaway, guys. So if you have not gone to the giveaway tab on our events on the Discord, you can still enter, and we got 16 minutes until the next giveaway. $16 minutes until the next giveaway. So make sure to enter. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't worry, we'll have more giveaways soon. But right now, this is special for our friends here at the Twitch world. Ask me questions, guys. I'm in like an ask me anything mood. So if there's any question you want to know about, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. I'm just having so much fun right now. Hi YouTube, yeah, say hi to YouTube, guys. This is gonna be on YouTube tomorrow, so make sure to, if you missed the part of or you can't watch the whole thing, make sure to go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. And you'll get the notification when the video is live. We definitely need to add hair and beard to this guy. The head is looking a little bit weird. The neck is definitely looking very, very weird. So I'm gonna bring the neck forward a little bit more. There we go. Usually the neck is at like this sort of like angle. And dwarves do tend to have like squarish heads. Oh, you know another class that's coming soon. I'm not sure if it's gonna be this year. Probably this year. X-Gen. We're gonna be doing an X-Gen class. X-Gen for production. That one's gonna be fun. Some people were asking for hair cards. I'm not sure if we should do a hair cards course. I did one a couple of years ago, or last year, I think. We might do another one. Kings here says, Sir Abraham, no need to call me sir. Don't worry, you're fine. As a student, we really struggle to decide which brushes to use and when and what settings. Yeah. Have you seen what brush have I used for the whole time while doing this character? It's not the brush. It's the knowledge and how you apply that knowledge. There's a story that a concept artist teacher taught me about a very famous concept artist. I think it was like, who was it? It was like one of the big guys in Hollywood. And people always ask him, hey, what brush do you use? What brush do you use? What brush do you use? And he's like, I use the baby brush. And people were like, what the hell is the baby brush? And he literally went online, grabbed the face of a baby, brought it into Photoshop, made a black and white image of that thing, moved the contrast and the things just to get like a noise texture pretty much, made that into a brush, and he painted the whole scene with just that one brush. And that's when people realize like, oh, it's not the brush, right? So it's not the brush, it's not the tool, it's how you use the tool. It's how you apply the knowledge and the information that you have to create what you have on your head, right? So it's not the brush. As for which brush I'm using right now, just clay buildup and a round alpha. And I've been doing that like pretty much ever since we started this stream to create this character. A little bit of Stream Dynamic, a little bit of Damien Standard, and that's it. Like, I don't use any like fancy brushes or anything, because I believe that that form and the basics of sculpting can be done with pretty much any brush. Yes, I've heard about women's knees that looks like baby faces. Well, it's not an acquaintance, someone that was at Nomo when I was there. What was her name? I forgot her name. But she did a little like breakdown of that specific thing, and it works. It works very nicely, like how you can construct a knee with just a baby face. What was her name? I don't remember. She's from like Romania or something, I think. Really good artist. She does a lot of like stylized stuff. Very cool. I think I have her on Facebook, but I don't remember. Okay, let's add some beard. Let's definitely add some beard. So I'm gonna append a neosphere. And I'm not sure what kind of beard do I want. Do I want braids? Do I want just like a traditional puffy beard? Like this. That one's very classical from like Warhammer. There's a very famous like Warhammer dwarf. I really like this beard, to be honest. I don't love the beats because they can be very complicated to rig and to animate. But we can do something like that. So let's just move brush. Usually when we're starting with a new something, in this case the beard, my advice is try to work with big brushes so that you focus on the form and the silhouette first. And as you start adding more and more detail, that's when your brush becomes smaller and smaller. Hair is my nemesis, says Backboy, no matter which software I use. It is tricky. I'm not gonna lie, it is tricky. That's why a lot of characters in games have helmets or are bald or are aliens, because you don't have to deal with hair that way. Now here, I'm just gonna do a quick sketch. It's not gonna be like the full like finished hair just yet. This base block that I have here is just the silhouette of the hair. Here, one advice that I want to give you guys is try to go for graphical shapes. What do I mean by this? Like, if you see this line right here, it conforms to the back of the muscle. That makes for a not so interesting effect. But if we push this up a little bit, right, and we create a little bit of a variation here, a contrast on the silhouette, that's gonna give me a more interesting beard. As you can see, I can follow or use that trick again to kind of like break up the silhouette of the beard and make it a little bit more interesting, so that it's not just like a smooth, perfect beard. Now here, you were asking about brushes. The rake brush is really good to give form. It's B, R, and then A, rake brush. This rake brush is, it's supposed to mimic a brush that we use in traditional sculpting, where you have a metal like bar and you cut a couple of like little indentations and it kind of like scratches the surface. So it gives you this sort of effect. And not only does it scratches the surface, it like pulls like a loose clay up and gives you a little bit more volume. So it's really, really handy, really handy brush. We got a question of what... Aliens with hairs and relatable skins are so easy to read and much more likely to get your reach. Yes, of course, of course. It's been for a while in my head, but I'm wondering whether a 3D artist can create something original without someone's concept art or existing character. I just have an imposter syndrome every time I model that. I'm only translating someone's concept in 3D without doing anything on my own. Oh man, do we have things to talk about right there. So imposter syndrome sucks. I have that all the time, by the way. It's very common. Like, so don't think that you are struggling alone on this. I suffer from imposter syndrome all the time, especially this past couple of months that I started being like a YouTuber and things like that. It's like, what am I doing here competing against this like super big brands and stuff? But then you just realize they were in the same position when they started, right? So don't feel bad about that. Now, about the sculpting, or about the characters being like just derivations or variations of what you see, that's super common. And I have a writer friend. He does like comics and short novels, and he teaches a class. I actually would love him to teach like a creative writing class for us eventually. And in his classes he mentions, thank you man for the bits, Daniel, thank you very much. In his classes he mentions that everything has already been invented, right? So the only thing that we can do is take something that we like and do it with our own experiences, because the only thing that's unique to you as an individual is that you have lived life in a specific way, right? Like, you have your own specific experiences, like the birthdays at your parents' houses, your friends when you were at school, the places that you have visited. No one else has lived exactly what you have lived, and that thing, that specific concept is what will allow you to create something a lot more interesting. Daniel with the bits are raining right now. So yeah, so for instance, right now I'm doing a dwarf, right? But even though it's very similar to this dwarf right here, because I'm using it for inspiration, I'm giving it my own little twist. The distance between the eyes, the expression, the faces. Mac and Queso, it's following. You were not following, Mac? What the hell, dude? What the hell? Thank you, man. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the birthday wishes. So yeah, even though we're doing like the exact same thing, one, we're not doing any copyright infringement or anything, unless we were to do like the exact same version of Thor that Disney is doing, and we're doing like something exactly similar. So that's fine. Now, every single thing again that you see, even the most like badass concepts that you see, they've all been inspired by other things. So if you think about like Master Chief, right, or again Kratos from God of War, they've all been like influenced by other things, and you can pretty easily trace them back. But the thing is, if you want to be not only an artist but also a designer, you need to study a little bit about design. Like, what makes a good design? How should I approach this specific character? What's the story that I want to tell with each specific element? So all of those things are things that you could incorporate into your design. to generate or create something a little bit more interesting. But don't be afraid, because art is all what's the word? You always take art, or art is always derivative. We always take what we've learned as humans, and we project that into our art. Thank you for the bits, Daniel. 90 bits. Wow, that's a lot. Thanks, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And we're about, I think, to get our winner. Are we about 6 minutes? Okay, 6 more minutes. So, for instance, I'm reading a book right now, a series of books. I'm reading the Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn saga. It's amazing, by the way. If you guys haven't read it, it's really, really good. And he creates his own magic system, right? But even in his own magic systems, I can see some like influences. So Star Wars, it's there. Like, I can see Star Wars being an influence from Brandon Sanderson because of the way he describes things and the way he portrays things. So it's fine as long as you're not blatantly doing a copy and paste of a source. Then you're fine. You can use whatever you need to feel inspired. Okay. Another example: when I was younger, I read Aragon. I'm not sure if you read that saga by Christopher Paolini. In Aragon, at least the first book is like a copy and paste of Star Wars, like literally copy and paste of Star Wars. It's just a hero's journey, right? Like super basic hero's journey, but it's good. At least when I was younger, I enjoyed it. I know it was for like young adults and stuff like that, but it was a good book. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. But once you understand that every part or every single thing in art is derivative, you can kind of like free yourself from that concept and be like, I'm gonna do a dwarf. Yes, a dwarf is not original because everyone has done dwarves for a long time, but I can do my own dwarf and he can have his own like personality and his own style, right? And that's what's gonna make him special. The fact that it's your dwarf or your creature or your dragon or whatever. So hopefully that helped, my friend. Sorry for the long rant. Oh my god, Daniel, you're going crazy, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you so much, man. Dude, don't do that, man. I'm gonna have to give you a course for free. Wow, thank you, man. Let's go. Jesus, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. You really don't know how much it means to me. It's just amazing, man. Thanks so much. Link Sandro saying, sorry, I'm still like dumbfounded. 10,000 bits, dude. Wow. Damn. Oh my god. Oh damn. Link Sandro says, I created, yeah, like we're gonna have to give this man a title on Discord, Sarn, because this is just amazing. I created a character design for a D&D campaign out of the saffron flower. Maybe taking something, yeah, taking, and that's another thing. I had a teacher that said like nature is the best designer, and she was so right, because there's so much things you can take as inspiration from there. So yeah, totally applicable to grab inspiration. A very common exercise that I do with my students when I'm doing design is I tell them, grab an animal, like any animal you want, grab a nature thing, a rock, a mineral, a mushroom, a leaf, a flower, and then grab a like normal object from our day's life, like a camera, a phone, a glass, I don't know, a shoe, and try to combine those three things into something original. And that kind of like kickstarts your brain and allows you to think about something a little bit more interesting or out of the box, right? And there's a lot of methods out there to try to be creative and try to come up with more original ideas. Any method works, but again, don't be too worried about creating something original, because nothing is original. Everything is just like derivative. We always take the things that influence us the most and we use those to create more and new things. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. I'm so glad that you think that that all of the things that we've been sharing are worth that much, and thanks to everyone for being here. We briefly broke another record with 80 viewers. That's amazing as well. And as long as I told David this a couple of weeks ago, it's like as long as I know that what I'm doing is helping someone, I'll keep on doing it. So Thanks everyone for the support for this new adventure. Let's go. Okay, now on my original character, he had like a ponytail, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work here. Let's just give it a quick go. I'm gonna show you here. Let's just move brush. So it was like a bundle and a ponytail or something like that, but nah, I don't think so. I don't think this is gonna look us. New giveaways just landed. Let's see who won the giveaway. Congratulations to who is this? M. I just see M. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Maria? I don't think it's Maria. But M, congratulations, my friend. You just won our next prize. The second prize is for you. We're going to be contacting you, or you can contact us at the end of the live stream. Mirqua. Thank you, Mirqua. Or thank you, David. Mirqua, congratulations. Oh, Pepper with Doug. There you go. Congratulations, my friend. You are the next winner in today's giveaway. And we have one more giveaway. David's gonna be getting it ready in just a couple of minutes. And Pepper, as long as the stream finishes, please send me a message on Discord, and we can arrange for you to pick any of the 2 courses for free. Okay? We'll gift it to you. Just let us finish the stream, and we'll get all of that sorted out. No, thank you for being here, and congratulations. We'll let you guys know as soon as the next one is ready, and that's gonna be the next what's the word, the next giveaway for today. So I think I'm gonna leave him bald. But if he's gonna be bald, this is the interesting thing. If he's gonna be bald, we definitely need to work a little bit more on like the back part of the head, because right now the back part of the head is very, I'm not gonna say ugly, but it's very smooth, right? And skin's not smooth. There's usually like some sort of like something. So here I'm using my trim dynamic, and I'm breaking up the surface a little bit to sorry, to change this thing right here. Let's then add a little bit of like a skin pass with our clay buildup, and then I'm gonna smooth all of that off. Just smooth it off. And as you can see, that's gonna give us a sort of like wrinkly, like not super smooth effect on the head. And it's gonna make it look a lot better. There you go. Thank you for the subscription, InStock. Thank you very much. What is the adventurer's rank in the Discord? It's Twitch level sub 1. There you go. Yeah, so we got like a whole journey, like a hero's journey as well on the Discord. So depending on your sub here, people who boost on the server as well, on the Discord server, they also get a special like level right there. So yeah, we got a couple of levels. Our Discord has been really cool, and that's all thanks to David, by the way. So everyone, say thanks to David, because he's the one in charge of keeping the Discord running and making an amazing job of keeping it really nice and clean for everyone. We had a very bad situation of scammers a couple of weeks ago, but it's now solved. So there you go. Thank you, David. Been doing an amazing job here. There we go. Let's just add a little bit more fat here on the brow. Well, no, it's not fat. This is more like skin and folds. There we go. Okay, so now I think we can jump one more level and start adding the asymmetry. Someone asked about the asymmetry. Who asked about the asymmetry? No, the stream is not ending. Why do you say that? No. So we got oh, there you go. Yeah. So I'm gonna use a Damien standard here. I'm gonna give it one more subdivision. As you can see, now we're in 2.7, and we can start working on some of like the tertiary wrinkles. So now I am gonna use this as a reference because it has some really cool wrinkles right there. And for instance, in this area right here, this is a very like a pro tip for symmetry. If you're working on a character, on a creature or whatever, you want to try to avoid having too much symmetry on the center line. You can have symmetry on the extremities, like the hands, the legs, the sides of the face, because it's very weird that you're going to see both sides of the face at the same time. So, but on the front view, which is a very common view, it's very obvious where you have symmetry. So here is the perfect point to just like start breaking symmetry and start adding some like slightly different wrinkles, especially again on this area. And here goes a very important thing about wrinkles. People forget about this all the time. It's a very, very common mistake. Wrinkles, what are wrinkles? Wrinkles is when your skin loses flexibility, right? Which means that it's gonna start like folding on top of each other. Which means that yes, we're gonna have those crevices. There's also gonna be volume being pushed up. So every time you do a wrinkle, you should add a little bit of bulginess to the loose part of the skin on the wrinkle. And that's gonna give you a little bit more realism on your characters, okay? So it's always like skin pushing up, and then due to that skin pushing up, that's where you get the like the deep crevice that you have with the wrinkles. Okay, so something like that. I'm gonna use Damien as standard. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit more. By cleaning, I mean I'm gonna have cleaner, nicer lines, and even with smooth, we can smooth some of the lines because we don't want a lot of noise right here. I think we might use this dwarf later on for the X-Gen course, to be honest. he seems like a good option. Let's work a little bit on the eyes. So on the eyes, we're gonna have the main eyelid right here. And usually that eyelid, you wanna keep it really flat, really nice and clean. Like this. And then with clay buildup, this is of course doing, I'm doing this symmetrically so that we don't have to do it twice. And then with the Damien standard, we're gonna start adding all of the wrinkles. And the wrinkles, of course, follow the flow of the eye. Right? So they go from this center line out here. There's a very important line. In this case, we're marking it with the nasolabial fold, but there's usually a very important line right around here. As you can see, that divides the nasolabial fold from the eye bags. We can start adding a little bit more detail right here. Some people have eye bags that are pushing forward. Some people have eye bags that are pushing inwards. It depends on the character. In this case, I do want to like push them out a little bit. There we go. Let's see. Sorry, if you want to keep adding scammers to your list, I can find you a bunch of them so they don't even get the chance to join the server. Yeah, they're very annoying. The one that surprised me the most was the guy that pretended to be me. I thought we were gonna, like, it was gonna take a while before that started to happen. But he, like, literally took my profile pic, same name, except I think it had, like, a 1 or, like, a 2 at the end. But it was obviously a scammer because he had, just, like, he created that account, like, 2 days ago or something. So, yeah, so just be careful, guys. Don't trust anyone. If you're curious if things are real or not, just go into the channel and ask everyone to make sure that you don't get scammed. I would hate that to happen. I'm adding a little bit of the... There's another muscle here on the eyes. It's called the orbicularis oculi, which is a donut-shaped muscle. That's why it's called orbicularis, because it has this like a round shape that goes around the main area of the face. Daniel says, some days ago I got 2 times a text from a fake Sarn. Yeah, unfortunately that's it's like, why can't people just try to make a living honestly? You know what I mean? It's like everyone in the world is trying to live an honest life, and then there's these freaking scammers. I hate them. Like my phone, literally, I have my phone here at the side. It rings at least 10 times a day with fake numbers. In Mexico, scammers are super common. They call you and they tell you, oh, we're calling from the bank and your account is frozen because we detected a big purchase. If you want to like unblock it, let's just follow this procedure. And then you fall for it. Or if you fall for it, they get access to your account and they drain your money. It's horrible. I've had some family members that unfortunately fell to that scam because they're getting smarter and smarter. So you really need to be on top of your game to make sure that you're not falling to that. Okay, this eyelid is going a little bit too far out. So I'm gonna bring it back in. My favorite ones are the one-man armies cameras. They all have plus 8 years experience doing everything related to 3D, even jobs that don't exist, and then profile pictures that T-pose is totally... Yeah. Yeah, they can do, yeah, morph boys and everything. Like 10 years ago, a little bit over 10 years ago, you guys know here in Mexico, we have a big problem with like drug dealers and stuff. And the whole thing was very bad. And there was a lot of extortion. So they would call you with like a girl crying, saying that it was your daughter or whatever. And it's like, damn, that was a scary time, unfortunately. I'm so glad I'm not looking for a job right now because I get texts from human resources from a company. Yeah, that's also bad. Have you guys gotten... I've gotten several of people on ArtStation wanting to buy my artwork because they want to like mint it for like Ethereum or something. At first, the first time I was like, oh yeah, I would be interested, and I kind of like follow along. I knew it was not probably real, but yeah, you know, it sounded interesting. And then when they were like, oh yeah, you need to do the first mint for whatever amount, and then we'll do the rest. And it's like, that doesn't sound like it. That totally sounds like a scam. Yeah, or AI generated ones. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna do a couple of wrinkles going here towards the nose. Following the sort of like nasolabial fold. And then here is when we can break symmetry. And for instance, on the nose, let's add a little bit of a mole. I'm not sure about scars. The scars are very common. Should we add a scar on the eye? I feel like scars is just like I do think that one's a little bit overdone, to be honest. Like the eye scar. Let's make him gentle, like a gentle character. Okay, yeah. So let's change the expression a little bit. Make him a little bit more friendly. Here we go, like droopy eyes. I do think he would have a couple more like moles. There we go. Here's where we could even like modify, like maybe one of the eyes is a little bit more droopy than the other, like this. Like that's fine, and people sometimes get worried about it. It's like, oh, but the retopology, it's gonna be asymmetrical. It's not. You can still do asymmetrical retopology, and then after you do the mirror from one side to the other, you just adjust things a little bit. And the rigor, I mean, it does add a little bit of extra work, but the rigor is not gonna kill you, especially if it's like the main character and you really want to have something that looks cool. Yeah, the face of a character is so powerful. Like you can generate so many like changes by just modifying so very few things, and that's one of the things that it took me the longest probably to understand, and it's one of the things that takes me the longest, or the longest to explain as well. Like it's not something that I can explain quickly because there's a lot of subtlety involved with every single like a change and thing that you do on your character. So for instance, I'm gonna mention it. Every time I mention this, I feel like I sound crazy by saying this, but the more you do art, the more art talks to you or speaks to you. And it's not like it's speaking to me. I'm not hearing voices. I'm not going crazy, don't worry. But you start working and you kind of have a feel of what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, and you start taking or making those decisions to make it work or not, right? So it's really interesting. And again, I remember my teachers talking about this when we were students, and I was like, that sounds crazy. Like, how is art gonna talk to you? It's not that art literally talks to you. It's just that thanks to all of the experience, all of the characters that you've done before, monsters, everything, you understand and you're like, this makes sense. I'm gonna add this wrinkle here, for instance, right? Or this this is not working. Let's fix this, or let's change this. And it's just, I guess, your expertise, right? Like the more expertise you get, the easier it becomes to understand how much or how little to push things in certain direction. I always like to compare art to cooking. So it's like chefs, right, that know exactly how to season something, and they know how a little bit of this or a little bit of that is really gonna help the dish or the cooking thing that they're doing. I feel like for art is very similar. Like the more you do it, the more you understand those like subtleties, and the easier it becomes to try to find how and where to push things and to modify things to get a better effect. For instance, here I know that there's a bone right here called the temporal bone. So if I scratch just a little bit of volume, I'm gonna give more depth to the whole face. It's just very, very subtle that I'm like carving here, and that's allowing me to generate that little ridge that we see right there. We can soften it up later, so I can add a little bit more clay buildup here, more like skin. But just doing that little change changes the character. Okay, and that's the kind of stuff that you need to do a lot of work to get to. More than 10,000 hours. Have you guys heard the 10,000 hours thing? How do you deal with perfectionism? I have the lucky feat of not being a perfectionist. I've never been a perfectionist, to be honest, because I'm always excited about starting something new. So I actually have to deal with the opposite. I need to deal with how do I keep pushing myself to make something look even better when I just want to quit and start something new. So, but I know what you mean. Perfectionism can be interesting. And I guess the best way to deal with it, or one of the best ways, is to understand that art is like the famous quote that says that art is never finished, just abandoned. So you could keep pushing something until the end of times, or you could stop working on this, work on something else, and then work on something similar to what you were working, and it's going to be better. I did a video, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, right? Or yesterday? It was yesterday. So yesterday's video on YouTube, I think is very important. I know it's a long video, but if you guys have time to watch it, I guarantee that you guys are going to learn quite a bit of things. And it's about learning. It's about how do you pick a project, right? So I personally, in my like bag of thoughts of things that I want to do, I have several projects that I have not tried doing yet because I don't feel ready. And I know it sounds a little bit stupid, but it's like I really want to do a good job when I do those projects. So I'm not going to try doing those characters or those assets until I feel confident enough that I can do it. And how am I preparing myself for that? Well, for instance, one of those characters has a lot of hair, a lot of fur. So throughout the years, I've been learning a little bit about fur here and there, so that when I have to do that character, I don't struggle with learning how to do the fur, and I just go directly into doing it. And that's one of like the steps that I talked about in the video on YouTube, which is you need to define what you want to do. Do you want to learn? Do you want to create a portfolio piece, or do you want to have fun? This piece right here, this is just for fun. It's my birthday, so I figured it was allowed to just have fun for now. So I'm not learning anything new. I'm just using and doing what I already know how to do, and I'm just having fun, just trying to create something interesting. No, it's not Chewbacca. It's my biggest character from D&D. His name is Vindu, and he's a Vanara. Let me show you. So back in 3.5, there were the Vanara, and they were monkey people, right? So it's like the Monkey King, like Wukong. It's kind of like that. So where's the picture? This one. There we go. So these were the Vanara. There was a Oriental Adventures module that Wizards of the Coast did for D&D, and well, it was not my first character, but it was the character that I played the most back in the day. He was a monk, like a monk. It was very simple. It's a white monk. He's got not purple, orange pants like Goku, and leather boots and a lot of rings. He has a ring in each finger and a ring on his tail. That's it. But I know that in order to do that, I need to be able to do like a really cool fur for the whole body, right? So it's a character that I haven't done. It's kind of like this. Like the proportions are not like human. They're a little bit more like monkey-like. So that's it's pretty much like this one right here. And that's a character that I want to do eventually. So yeah, that's another little story. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Again, perfectionists can be very like draining. Another advice that I can give you guys. That's what I did when I was at school, because I the first year was very fun. The second year I went like full on, and I saw that I was very mentally draining, and I was not having fun on the second year because I was dedicating too much time on to the school. And so for the third year that was there, I gave myself a limit. I was like, I'm only gonna be working 10 hours a day on 3D, which is a lot, still a lot, right? But it's like, I'm just gonna do 10 hours a day, including classes. So if in one day I had like 6 hours of classes, I would only do homework for 4 hours. And that allowed me to do other things, read, play games, have fun, go out, stuff like that. And that kept me sane. So if you set yourself a limit or a time limit for a project, be like, I'm gonna work on, like, let's say this dwarf. I'm just gonna work on this dwarf for 8 hours. Right now we've been doing almost 2 hours, right? So I'm just gonna do this for 8 hours. After 8 hours, that's it. You're finished. You're done. We need to move on to something else. You learned what you could, and now you just like keep working on something new, because otherwise you're just gonna get stuck. And not only is getting stuck very draining, as you guys are mentioning, it's also gonna like what's the word? It's gonna stop you from learning other things that could help you later on to return to this character and be like, hey, I did like a hair exercise, and now I can do the hair on this character even better, right? So if you stay stuck on the same thing, on the same project for a long time, it can be counterproductive, because you won't be learning, you won't be expanding your knowledge, and you're just like clicking and moving vertex and like forms from here to there, and it's not really helping you. So when you're learning, it's better to do a lot of small projects, because you learn more that way than to do one big project. Again, that's part of what I mentioned on the video from yesterday on YouTube. So really check it out. Let's see. Bosswork says, should I learn how to draw anatomy or sculpt anatomy? I'm better at creating heads and zebras than I am in drawing it. I'm learning the basics of drawing because some pros recommend the students to learn about the basics of drawing and learn about gesture and figure drawing, and learn about before diving into sculpting the anatomy. Does it even matter? I have an app on that, and sometimes I sculpt heads in Nomad Sculpt app, but I obviously sculpt better in ZBrush. Yeah, so that's the typical question of traditional art versus digital art, right? Like, do we need to do traditional art to be better at digital art? No, but it does help. Like, you don't need to be a good artist traditionally to be a good artist digitally, but it does help. So when I was a student, I did take several like gesture drawing classes, perspective classes, figure drawing classes, anatomy classes, sculpting classes, and I cannot say that they did not help, right? So they are helpful. If you can do it, go for it. But if you can only choose one or the other, then go digital. It's because otherwise, yes, it's just a better option, I would say. But if you can do practice, like, you don't have to. I'm not a great drawing. Like, I suck at drawing. We got a Shankila. Thank you for the follow, man. We're very close. 2 more. We just need 2 more followers to get to our goal today. So if you're watching and you're not following, help us. Just 2 more. And so if you can spend a little bit of time, like, just like delving into, again, gesture drawing, anatomy and stuff like that, that's great. But you need to be very mindful about how much time you have available, because it's not the same for everyone. I personally like to do miniature painting. Let me show you one that I painted recently. My players have not faced this one, so they're gonna be in for a surprise. It's this big bear right here. So this sculpts are from a sculptor called Artisan Guild. I'm subscribed to his Patreon, and this one was like from 2 or 3 months ago. This like big bear. So by doing traditional painting or traditional miniature painting, I have been able to understand color and the techniques, and I the same way you guys watch my tutorials for 3D, I have my own like little band of people that I watch tutorials for like miniature 3D or miniature painting, and I learn from that, and I know that when I do something similar in 3D, like hand painted textures, all of that information is going to be like transferable to that specific thing. So it is important. It is important, but not mandatory. It helps. It helps. There we go. We got, oh, there we go. We got to our follower goal. Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's see. Question: what are the options to make a game-ready asset when the shape is too complex? What kind of shape would that be, Daniel? Give me an example. Shankila, thank you, man. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You know what I want to give him? I kind of want to give him a scar on the mouth that he doesn't show as much. So I'm gonna break symmetry. Let's do a... like he took an axe to the face or something at one point. This is asymmetrical, by the way, so as you can see I broke symmetry. He's missing a part of his lip right there. It's not gonna be as visible, to be honest, because again the beard's gonna be covering most of it. But one thing we can do, maybe, that kind of seems interesting. Let's make this go really high, like a really bad cut. It's of course gonna be a lot deeper, closer to the mouth, like right around here. And as it goes up, it's not as bad. But now, even with the beard, you're still gonna see something just like going there. And if he shows you a little bit, you can see like the whole thing. Oh, you don't see the screen. Sorry. There you go. My bad. So this is the scar I was talking about. This like big scar coming from the upper lips. I like that. Whole panic on the chat's like, ah! It has happened more times than you... One time, oh my god, I hated that. One time I was recording a video, and it was such a good video. I was doing probably like 20-25 minutes, and I was like super pumped and super excited. I was explaining, I think it was like modeling in Maya or something. I was just like in the zone doing everything. And then I looked to the side, which is where I have my recording thing, and it was not on the main screen. It was like, fuck. And I had to start over, and the next time it was not as intense or as hyped as I was on the first one, because I just spent like 25 minutes. But yeah. Auspicious Juicy, thanks for Jusai, thanks for the follow, man. We're at 330, 331. Yeah, I like this car. I think it looks good. And again, it's kind of like a secret. This is someone was asking me, Evgen was asking me this yesterday. It's like, how do you know what to decide or what to add, where to remove on a character? It's like, always try to have a why to the things, right? So in this case, why does he have a scar going from his mouth all the way to the top in this like very harsh effect? It's like, well, my character, he's always been this sort of like happy go, like, yeah, like a happy friendly guy, right? So he probably, when he was younger, he probably tried to save someone from being robbed and got like a knife to the face, and that's why he has that scar, you know? So that kind of stuff, like that kind of justification, like story, even if you don't like tell anyone about it, just you knowing about it already adds more value to the character, because when someone asks, you're already gonna have an answer to that. You're already gonna be like, yeah, that's a scar he got from saving someone. And that's pretty much it. 11:55 p.m. in India. Very late over there. By the way, guys, we still have the final giveaway. We are 32 minutes away from the final giveaway. So if you guys want to participate, go to our Discord channel and enter there on the events section to get a chance at winning one of our premium courses. I'm gonna go to the beard. We definitely need to clean it up a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit of detail here and there to the mustache. This is a braid, or at least that's my attempt at a braid, but I think it looks very weird. So usually braids look a little bit different. Let me fix this. So let's first of all feel the volume. And I'm gonna break symmetry. Because again, this thing is on the center, right? So usually on the center. It's like this. Here's where reference would be really good, to be honest. So let's look for thick braid. There we go. So it's probably like this. I was not that far from the idea. So let me copy this. I know that's hair and we're doing beard, but it's pretty much the same thing. There we go. Do you use your mouse or a drag wing pad? I have a Huion 16 canvas. It's the display. I use this one for my sculpting. I have a review on the YouTube channel as well if you want to check it out. I think this is a really good one because the price right now is very, well, not very, but it's quite affordable. Someone was saying that it was like $300, I think. And to be honest, it's been really useful for me. Okay, so it is a little bit more symmetrical, but it's a little bit more flowy. So it flows like this. And then it flows like this. And then it flows like this. And then it flows like this into the final kind of like knot right there. And on the top, kind of like all of these things kind of like coalesce or kind of like join together on the center line right there. Now that we have that, I am gonna break symmetry. And I'm gonna start kind of like drawing again, following the same sort of like pattern that we had, but in a more natural way. As you can see, the texture of the clay buildup is already giving me a really nice like result. So I don't need to worry too much about like the finer like fibers or things of the hair, because I'm already getting most of them from the original effect. Another thing that could be helpful here would be to separate this braid from the rest of the hair. Same for the mustache, like having them as separate subtools could be really handy. So we might do that. The million polys braid doesn't exist. It can hurt you. Is it millions? Nah, it's just 300,000. Now, trying to do this with action, that's the challenge. That would definitely be a challenge. That's why I think this dwarf could be a really good exercise for action, because we can do so many hairstyles. We can do like a very typical like mohawk thing that's very easy to do, but then doing like all of this like mustache and braids, that could potentially be a little bit complicated. I actually really like the idea of this, because I'm already imagining like the thumbnail of the course, like this guy with like a super fancy hairstyle and the mohawk. It's like introduction to action in Maya. That looks like a killer idea. We might do it. We just might do that one. Let's keep going here. Over here, one of the things that I don't like about the hair on this like border is I always like to kind of like break the border a little bit. So I'm gonna push this thing. I'm gonna push this thing right here, and just like create a little bit more of a coarse effect, right? So then it will be the best action course. That will be nice. Have you ever played Deep Rock Galactic? They have some insane customization for the dwarves. No, I have not. Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic. That looks cool. Is it only on PlayStation? No, it's on Steam as well. What is it? Is it like a Minecraft thing? 1 to 4 player co-op FPS featuring badass space dwarfs. Nice. That looks cool. I'm not a super fan of sci-fi, to be honest. It's not that I hate it, but I just love fantasy so much. But that looks cool. I tried the biking beard with a braid as my first action project, and it almost made me never want to touch Maya again. Yeah, action can be quite tricky. See, that's one of the things that I'll regret a little bit about the Thyros course that I did last year or this year, is that I couldn't spend much time due to creative reasons. I couldn't spend too much time on the action thing, so it was like a 1 hour action job, and that's one of the comments that some people have. Says like, the bird looks a little bit weird. It's like, yeah, it's just I didn't have enough time. But if we do a full like action course, like 10 hours of just like this character right here, oh, we can do something very, very nice. We'll add that to the list of possible courses, don't worry. Let's go here. There we go. Kingshire says, I like fantasy with sci-fi. Close example is Warframe. Yeah, like I like Xenoblades, and that I think that's one of the reasons why I really like Xenoblade, because it has this sort of like fantasy sci-fi vibe. Because I've tried other like more sci-fi things, and it always just like, they don't grab my interest as much. Like I actually did like Destiny, but I didn't have the time. That's the main issue with, because it's a looter shooter, right? So you'd really need to spend quite a bit of time, like grinding for all of the things. And then you have games like Diablo 4 that are supposed to be the best ones, and they just like fuck it up with horrible drops and microtransactions and things. Such a shame that Blizzard has gone into those like bad positions. Yeah, it's a shame. They were the best of the best, and now there's a lot of greedy corporation things involved and bad decisions in general. Another game I played for a while was Legends of Runeterra from Riot. I can't wait for their fighting game. I'm a huge fighting game fan, so I really want to play the new Project L, I think it's called. The fighting game that they're working on. Looks very promising as well. Indie company. Yeah, such a shame for an indie company like them, right? Let's go a little bit deeper. And then you got games like Final Fantasy XVI and Killing Your Soul, literally. Tekken 3 was your first game? The first like serious fighting game I got into was a Street Fighter 4. And then I played the Street Fighter 5, I played Mortal Kombat, Injustice. Street Fighter has always been like my favorite, to be honest. But I really like others. I tried the Guilty Gear, but oh my god, so difficult. Like I couldn't get into the whole system. Looking forward to Tekken 8. I'm not a huge fan of Tekken 8 or Tekken, but who returned Sarn to World of Warcraft? Do you know the name? Was it Ghostcrawler or Chris Metzen or who was it? Oh yeah, the Guilty Gear art style is freaking amazing. Like freaking amazing. Chris, oh nice. Chris returned. Well, that's some good news. Because art-wise, Blizzard has never like failed, right? Like Blizzard games always look freaking amazing. I think it's just like I think it's just going too greedy, to be honest. Auspicious! Hey Ave, I'm new to your channel and your art. Happy birthday, thanks man! And welcome to this amazing community. If you're not on the Discord, make sure to jump right now because we have a giveaway that's gonna be ending in 22 minutes. So you still have chance to apply, and you can get a free course, a free premium course, or a 1 hour session with me. So that we can talk about 3D and anything that you might have questions about. Yeah, it's such a shame. Like, it really broke my heart a couple of years ago when ZBrush did that, when they sold themselves. It's like, oh no. And it hasn't been the same since then. Like, I mean, they're still doing cool things. We've had a couple of like interesting updates, but it's just not the same. Like, the greediness is just there, you know? There we go. As you can see right now, here's just I'm in the standard play build up and just building this like bundles of hair. The thing about hair is, or one of the things that people I think make a mistake with hair is they try to like pretty much sculpt every single strand, and hair is more like a volume. So if you think of hair like the bundles of hair and the locks of hair that you get, it's a little bit easier and more manageable than trying to do every single strand. So as you can see, I'm like kind of like subdividing all of those locks of hair. When you take a look at the character, it looks nice. Yeah, it's Maxon now, and they have this horrible Maxon app. Like yesterday, it was ridiculous. Yesterday I opened ZBrush, I was gonna work on something, and I got, your license is not updated. Please log into the Maxon app to make sure that the license is up to date. It's like, come on. Like, you guys are charging me $45 every single month, and you're making it difficult for me to freaking use the software? Not cool. They're gonna have to do something. But the problem is they literally do have the best sculpting software. So unless Maya, I don't think Maya's gonna do it. I think that the biggest competition, honestly, to sculpting is gonna be a Blender. But I'm not sure how fast Blender can get to the level that ZBrush is right now. Like, I even have heard some people on the Blender forum saying if Blender wants to compete against ZBrush, they should just do something called like Sculptor or something like that, because trying to create like the whole ZBrush software inside of the Blender thing might be more complicated than trying to do a new software. So I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I'm not a software developer, but I can see where they're coming from, because Blender is a 3D software, and ZBrush works in like different ways, right? It's not the exact same thing. I know it's also a 3D software, but it uses other sort of like techniques, I think. Let's go back to the hair a little bit. You know what else we need? We need eyebrows. The dwarf's eyebrows are always like really interesting. Dramatic showcase. I don't know why, but I feel Blender is heavier than ZBrush. From a software standpoint, no. Blender is very lightweight. The problem is it doesn't process the what's the word? It doesn't process the geometry in the same way as ZBrush does, so you can work with as high levels of geometry. So for instance, right now I'm working with 2.7 million. I can easily subdivide this one more time to 10 million polygons and like no problem, right? In Blender, you would definitely have some issues at that point. And you could go even higher, to be honest, here in ZBrush. Like, I think the highest sculpture that I ever did, it was probably Thyros, with all of the different attachments and stuff, and he was like almost 100 million polygons overall. But here's the thing that I've been mentioning to you guys. When you're working with really high levels of polygons, it's better to have multiple objects that add up to that level than to have one object that gets to that level. In any software, Maya, Unreal, Blender, any software, because it's easier for the softwares to process multiple elements that, again, add up to that level than it is to process one single element that does the same thing. Okay, let's append another sphere. Let's bring my thing back here, and we're gonna go now for the eyebrows. So, yeah, very bushy eyebrows as well for dwarves usually. There we go. So for eyebrows, the way I like to kind of create this, guys, is with the move brush. First, just give the general look. Now he's gonna be, I don't want him to be angry, so I'm not gonna make the eyebrows kind of point up or anything. So I'm gonna kind of make them go down. Yes, 15 more minutes for the next giveaway, guys. So if you're in the chat right now here in Twitch and you have not gone to our Discord to claim your entry on the giveaway, make sure to go right now because you only have 15 minutes. 3D code, sir. 3D code. The issue with 3D code is it doesn't have big circle in teaching parts. But the moment I saw some artists using 3D code, the moment I saw some artists using 3D code, they are just damn good. They switch between like ZBrush and 3D code. I really wanna. I do think I have a license from 3D code, and I am gonna be learning about hand painting texture there, because there's some very cool hand painting things. I used it a couple of years ago. I was working on a game and they wanted hand painted textures, like very simple ones. And 3D code was the best option at that point, to be honest. You could also do it a little bit here in ZBrush, but not as good. So yeah, I wouldn't sleep on 3D code either. And I think they have a very affordable like pricing as well. I don't remember what it was, but they had this very cool 3D code. I'm not sure if they had like the rent to own thing. You have the 30-day trial, and then you have the... Where is it? Oh. This, at the same time, once the 30-day, the usual import-export function is disabled. However, saving loading your files in 3D code's internal 3D format still work with a limitation of 20 skull objects and 10 layers and random warps, no additional limitation. You can export your models in OBJ format free, which is this limit, triangles, textures, okay. But you cannot use them for commercial purposes. What this means, you can, yeah, so you can continue to practice and learn, which is fine. And there was I believe there was a good pricing, because I remember it was not that. There we go. Yeah, they have the rent to own. So you can rent to own. Note locked 7 payments, so, or 11 payments, which is like a year, which is not bad. 41 euros is like what, like $45 or something. But after you finish paying it, it's yours. So it's like buying like Marmoset or something. So it might be a good option. We might look into that maybe next year. Mari is really good. Happy birthday! Oh, happy birthday! Thank you, Caprices, for the happy birthday. And yeah, they do have the rent to own. There you go. So Mari is really good, like really, really freaking good. I used that when I was in school, but then I didn't like continue to learn, so I pretty much have forgotten everything I know about Mari. And it is a little bit more pricey, to be honest. But at least when I was a student, it was quite pricey. So it was fine because we had the student license, but after that, it does become a little bit pricier. So it's not a bad idea, and it's really good. It's also like a 3D software, and I do believe you can also do hand-painted textures there. Because it's pretty much like Photoshop. It works with layers, I believe. Or at least it did that way a couple of years ago. I'm gonna soften the eyebrows there a little bit. So that's also a good option. Substance is not a great option. I was talking to David earlier about that, because the color picker, it's just a color picker that doesn't work as smoothly, and it doesn't process like the textures as easily. The way it works, I think, it's with 3D code and with Mari. When you paint something, it gets baked into the texture. And in Substance, since everything's procedural, it doesn't get baked until you outsource it or output it. So the problem is it becomes very heavy, especially with heavy characters. Like once you have a lot of layers, it becomes really, really complicated and heavy to control. Layers with nodes, Mari got really powerful and complicated. Yeah, Mari is really, really, really cool. I'm not sure I would be able to teach you guys how to use it properly, because I don't use it on my pipeline like commonly, but it's a really good software as well. They use it, it's very professional. They use it a lot for movies and stuff, and since I do more games or work in more like game productions, I use the other one more. I use Substance more. There you go. Happy little dwarf right there. Might be a little bit too thick on the eyebrows. Let's start on symmetry. There we go. Nice. Yeah, so not bad for 2 hours of fun and sculpting, right? Even the music is a little bit more happy-go-lucky. So let's see, how long do we have for our last 12 minutes? Cool. Let's use this 12 minutes for questions, guys. I would be more than happy to share more questions or more answers to your questions. So what else do you want to know? Because I'm already in the finishing touches. I might bring this into Maya or something to do a nice quick render. Just want to like polish a little bit of the hair right here. Oh, the music just ended. It literally just ended. Let's hear this one now. Yeah, I use the League of Legends or the Riot creator, like free creator thing, so that we don't get any like copyright strike or anything. So that one that we just heard was Diana's. It's like 2 hours, and this one's Vi's Sessions Vi. By the way, can't wait for the new Arcane season. That's a fantastic series as well. Hair, the thing with hair is it takes time. I would say that's the most like challenging thing about the hair. I've actually been wanting to do this video in YouTube to show you guys like the time thing, because it's very, very common for students, especially beginner students, that they get very impatient and they want to be able to finish everything very, very fast. And I want to do a video where I show you like, I don't know, doing a skull in 5 minutes, doing a skull in 30 minutes, and then doing a skull in 4 hours. So you guys can see like how much and the difference that you can achieve. Just like a sculpt, like not even textures or anything, just like the amount of details and precision and things that you can add, the more time you invest into something. That's why making games and films are it's so expensive, because when you're working in the studio, they don't expect you to do a full character in a day. They know that in order to do things right and to get all of the approvals and things, it takes time. So it's very important. You can drop much better with raw power of Intel CPU Ryzen. What would... Oh, Intel say. Might be a technical question. Is Mac M1 enough for some of the workflow for 3D characters, let's say stylized? Yeah, to be honest, I don't recommend Macs. Like if you have the option to buy a Mac or a Windows PC, I usually will tell people go for Windows, because there might be some like compatibility issues. Most people doing 3D will be working on Windows, so it is possible. I remember I had a friend who did a Hackintosh where he had all Mac components, but he installed Windows into them or something, and he was really happy with his like creation. But again, if I were to do it, I would just go PC, to be honest. Any tips on how to stop being a perfectionist? I feel like I sometimes spend too much time in blockouts. Oh no, that's the part that you should not spend a lot of time on. Like, blockouts are supposed to be fast. We had this question earlier on the stream, and I was mentioning that setting time frames for yourself is a good idea. So for instance, if you're struggling with the blockouts, literally get your phone, get a timer there, and be like, I'm just gonna do 20 minutes of blockout, and after those 20 minutes I'm just gonna start polishing. Because yeah, it can happen that you will then start to try to be too perfectionist and just like get too caught up into the whole thing. Let's add just a little bit of muscle here. Another advice that I have is that's why doing speed runs, or not speed runs, but speed characters and speed sculpts is a good idea, or a good way to get rid of that like perfectionist thing, because you're just like, I just have 20 minutes, I need to finish, let's see what I can do, right? And that it literally pushes you to decide which things are important and which things are not. And if you do that, it might allow you to get rid of some of that like perfectionist as you mentioned. So that will be my my new option, or my new suggestion. Have you ever fallen out of love with art or creating things? How would you get out of root? Yes, I have. And it's very sad. It's a very sad situation to be in where you don't feel like creating. I'm gonna say something, and maybe if you guys can relate, it might be a little bit easier to understand. But I am married. I have a wife and a little girl, so I don't have the choice. Like, I don't have the option to just stop creating art, because this is what I do for a living. So even in those like moments, I would always be like teaching or something, and I would always try to do and give the best that I can. But there have been times where I felt like completely on this time for long periods of time, like for months, right? My best advice is to go to like a therapist or like a psychologist and just like talk and be like, hey, what the hell is wrong? Sometimes it's that you don't feel comfortable in your work. Sometimes it's that you feel like imposter syndrome. Sometimes it's other things in your life affecting you. So mental health is very, very important. I have the good luck of my wife. She has a master's, not a master's, she has a doctorate in psychology, so she helps me quite a bit when I go through those like tough times. But it's normal, man. Like, man, we're humans, right? So it's very, very like common and normal to go through those phases. Someone close to me had that issue a couple of months ago, and I told him, hey, if you don't feel like doing like work for like productions and stuff like that, at least open Maya or ZBrush and do something for yourself, like something that you like, your favorite superhero, your favorite character. Like, just do something for you, and that might spark the whole thing back. Because it is definitely complicated. Looks so good already, Shankila. Thank you. Can you recommend me a art book like for creatures? Would you recommend a think tank CG school? Okay, so for Kingseer first, creatures. There is this one that I've recommended before. It's from Terry Whitlash. That one's a good one to understand how she breaks down anatomy. It's this one, Science of Creatures. Or it's two of them. It's Animals, Real and Imagined, the fantasy of Terry Whitlash, and this Science of Creature Design, understanding like creature design. Those two are really good. There's not a lot of text, so it's more drawing, so it's more about you analyzing the whole thing. But she's really good. She has worked on the Avatar films, and she understands like how to design things from a nature and science perspective. So it's very, very cool. That will be my recommendation for that kind of book. So Bosurk is asking, would you recommend a think tank CG school? It's in Canada. I don't think it can afford to go to Noman School for CG. Yeah, I've heard think tank is good. There are several schools out there that are really good. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a very... It's not a secret, but it's something that they don't tell you. Noman receives a lot of students, right? In my from like instance, in my term, 20 of us graduated when I finished the school, and it happens like in any other like part. Like, you guys have always seen like this Gauss curve, right? So these are the really, really, really freaking good students. But from 20 students, I would say like 2 or maybe 3 were here. And then the rest of us were in this area, like average to good students. And there were also 2 or 3 really bad students that graduated. So the school is not guaranteed that you're gonna be like an amazing artist. It's up to you. There's a famous quote in Mexico that says, he who is a parrot, like a parrot, or yeah, like I think that's the word, a parrot. If you're a parrot, you're gonna be green everywhere. So it doesn't matter what school you go to. If you have the discipline and the principles to be a good student and learn as much as you can, you're gonna be doing well. Yes, some opportunities, some connections, and some things cannot be found everywhere. But school is just one factor of the whole thing. I think that would be the translation in Spanish is el que es perico donde quiera es verde. Sounds very weird, I know, but it's he who is a parrot will be green anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. What matters is who you are, right? Like who you are as an artist, as a student, as a person. Jordebo says, I do sometimes struggle following your ZBrush course. Some chapters take way longer than the actual video lengths. Just the hand chapter took me at least. Yeah, and I mentioned that quite a bit on the courses. That's very important. The time it takes me to record, it's not the same time it's going to take you to do it. And they told us that when I was a student, like every single hour of class you take is going to be at least 3 hours of work that you're going to have to do. So if you have a 3-hour class, that's 9 hours of work that you're going to have to do. So in the stylized character course, I think that's like 21 hours for recording, or 24 hours, something like that. I would say at least it's going to take you like 75 hours to do. because especially when you're learning, you're gonna make mistakes and you need to fix those mistakes, and that's where the actual learning occurs. Any tips on presenting your portfolio for job hunting at game studios? Is the art test hard? I've only done like a couple of art tests in the past, and I was fortunate enough to pass them. So for me, it wasn't hard what they were asking for, but I know there are some studios that are really intense, like Naughty Dog. If you want to work at Naughty Dog, I've heard that their art test is like freaking like brutal. So just be prepared. It's my advice. That's why speed sculpts and things like that, because not only are they looking for quality, they're also looking for efficiency, right? And there's a lot of people out there, a lot of really good artists that take very, very long time to finish their stuff. And that's, from a production perspective, that's something that you might not want on your studio. Closer to 10,000 hours in stock. Yeah, so usually there's this famous quote that you need 10,000 hours to be a master. And even if you do, I think, like 8 hours every day, it's still going to take you like 2 or 3 years. So that's why it's very, very important. And I always make a point about saying this. If you're just starting the 3D world, or if you're in the beginning stages of the 3D world, be patient. It's gonna take time. Like it took me literally 13 years to be able to do this dwarf in 2 hours. And I'm not even saying I'm done learning. I'm still learning. I'm still improving. That's my personal motto as always. So that's how it works, right? So that's how it works. We got Malthouse. You are our third winner, my friend. Congratulations, Malthouse, for winning our third giveaway today. And that's it, guys. With this, we are done with our giveaways, and we're also going to be done with our live stream very, very shortly. I'm just going to answer a couple more questions, so feel free to write them in chat. Oh, sorry, my chat moved to somewhere else. So the next question that we have is, can you tell me the name of those 2 or 3 really good artists of your batch? I want to see their art stations. Of course. So one of them, this freaking guy, Beat Reichenbach. So Beat, he already, this was crazy because when he went to Noman, this was literally his introduction to Maya season. We were like, come on, dude, what the fuck are you doing here? You already know everything. Like, if you can do this in your first Maya class, like, really? And he told us that he had been learning 3D for like 10 years before he came to Noman. So he was learning 3D ever since he was like 12 years old or something. And it showed because, again, this was his intro to Maya scene. He is an amazing, amazing artist. Super, super talented. He has worked on some very big productions, and he's very, very talented. And he has a really cool thing where he likes to do scripting and programming as well. So he's done some like things. I don't know. Like I'm not smart enough to understand what he's doing here, but he has done some like plugins and things for Maya, and he's just really, really, really talented. Beat Reichenbach, he's one of them. Another one that was really, really good. Maria Carriedo. Let's see. No, actually, I mean, she's really good, but let me show her. Maria Carriedo. Or so she was also Mexican. There you go. Is this one? Yeah, so these were her like projects again back in the Maya days. She was really good. She's working in London, I think, right now. There's another guy who was really, really good. Toby Levine, I think is his name. Toby. Artists. Let's see. Toby. Not all of them were from my same group. Some of them were from like groups above me or below me. Like this was his like hard surface, his first hard surface class, and he did like this Halo helmet, and then he did like this fantasy house. He's really good as well. So there are some very, very, very talented artists that came out of Noman. Now I'm not gonna like throw dirt or anything, but there were also some really not great artists that came out of Noman. So that's why I was saying, like, the school is not gonna make you a great artist. If you use all of the tools that the school is gonna give you, you can become a great artist. That's the secret. So that's it. Let's see. True. When I learned rigging from YouTube videos, the video was like 20 minutes long, and I finished following after 4 hours of trying things myself. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Well, that's it, my friends. Thank you very much. This has been the best stream so far, and it was an amazing time being here with you. We shared so many things, and we talked about so many things, and I really like how this character is turning. I probably will keep working on it a little bit more later. But I really appreciate all of the support, everyone who was here in the chat, all of the participants on our giveaways. Congratulations to the winners. We're gonna be contacting you very soon, and we'll be like managing and making sure that you get your prize. And to everyone else, again, thank you very much. The stream is gonna be available tomorrow on YouTube in case you want to watch it or you want to watch a part that you might have missed. And I'll be back at the end of the week with more content. Actually, tomorrow we have it on YouTube, and then on Friday we have another stream. So it's gonna be double stream week. And so yeah, stay tuned. Make sure to join our Discord, our YouTube, and all of our socials so that you can follow up all of the things that we're gonna be doing. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day with my family and celebrate a little bit that we're here, and I'll be seeing you back on the next one. Bye bye.